Ah, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone and everything in between. Your captain's back. I wanted to just talk about Cynder in general. I'm a little bit excited because I've caught wind that the Cynder mod for Reignited Spyro by Faith SDK could be coming out soon. So I'm a little bit wound up. We don't know what soon means. It could be a few days, weeks, months, who knows. But she's teasing more, and my hair's bothering me. So let me get this way. A little more light. A little more light. A white shirt, and it's October 1st, and I'm wearing white. Blasphemous. But, the whole point of this was to get to talking about Cynder anyway, no matter what form she's in. And, so something that I've mentioned about on DeviantArt, I'm Fox Dragon Lover on there if you're interested, is that my headcanon for her very much kind of, well, let's put it this way. We all know that I have a lot of beef with Dawn of the Dragon, because I feel like when they gave Cynder on as a playable character, they made her equal to Spyro in that he had 4 elements and they gave her 4 elements. And they were all kind of weird. You had Shadow, Fear, Poison, and Wind, which Wind makes no sense to anybody as a dark element. And now I'm getting messages. Why? People, leave me alone. The thing about the wind is that everybody, or apparently it's rumored to be canon, that someone working there said that wind would have been her original element. Some people really like that idea. Others think it's absolutely stupid because her egg was black, and having a black egg belong to a wind dragon would be absurd unless they are naturally melanistic, which is a genetic thing. That doesn't happen often. So, a lot of people go, okay, well, let's pick her as a shadow dragon. And this saying that she got these extra elements because of the darkness of Malifor, to me, just seems so lazy. Extremely BS. I'm gonna say it. I'm not saying you're unimaginative or uncreative or lazy if you like that thing and you go with it. It is canon, and some people, a lot of people, like it. I used to like it, but as I got older and more serious about how I restructure my headcanon and stuff, and like I've said in a previous video, my plans for the future, that things I would do if I got my hands on this franchise and ever somehow had the opportunity to change it. She would not have all those elements. She's not a wind dragon, she's not shadow. Basically, out of the 4 that was given to her, wind is the only natural element that I like. Let's see, in my dragon's headcanon, there's fire, electricity, earth, ice, and then you have water, wind, and magma. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. And the thing about it is, in the first game, Cynder had dark fire. That was her element. And the thing, people can say that dark fire was dark because of Malifor. I can accept that people would think that way. The way I saw it was that dark fire maybe represented magma, because magma is stronger and, to my mind, darker, as bright as it is, as far as the glow is concerned. It's a little overrated in that aspect. People don't actually think about how low saturated it is and what it's capable of. I would like to think that a magma dragon can go between having a fire that is tougher than regular fire and darker in appearance, or switch to pushing it out harder and actually creating magma, and the smoke that would come from it would become pyroclastic material. So it's not like they have 2 elements, it's just that their one element has a bit of a shift mode. So, and magma dragons are, element-wise, why'd I say that weird? Element-wise, tougher. They're more resistant to hotter things. Like a fire dragon can handle fire, but they could not withstand lava, and dark fire could burn them. A magma dragon can pretty much withstand just about any level of heat. Anything, I can't imagine what on earth could be hotter than magma, but I'm imagining that anything that's hotter than that, a magma dragon would probably be smart enough to avoid. So like in Dawn of the Dragon, when they have to go through the belt of fire, I like to think that magically, it seems like a magical thing in essence. So even Cynder, like, she's like, oh, I can go through, I'm a magma dragon, and then she ends up, like, burning her hand or something, and then, Spyro, like, ices her hand, and uh, helps it cool off and feel a little better before they go in there. So just the little details that, she naively thinks, she doesn't realize that it's, that magic or no, she can't go through it. So that's my stand. I was seeing the dark fire, and the other thing that made me like the idea of her being magmaric, I think, was because of Munitions Forge. I really loved that level, and I loved Cynder in that level. I loved when she made her grand appearance at the end. She literally burst out of a pocket of lava in Boys It Big. That was so cool. So I was like, okay, she can withstand lava, and we can all say that it's a Malefor's magic thing, but I just like to think that it's her element. To me, that just seemed really cool. It was really frustrating how Dawn of the Dragon completely did away with the dark fire concept. I mean, the second game didn't even talk about elements at all. I just think that it going from Chrome to Activision, it had a lot of problems. And I do believe that using magma, like her having dark fire, if they'd looked at it maybe the way I had, they could have that. She could have just had that, and Spyro had his 4 elements. There could be, I mean, the puzzles would have to be a little different, platforming might have to be a little different, they'd have to change some things. But it wouldn't be that dang hard to just, oh, this puzzle requires lava. Spyro can't make lava. Cynder can, Or, like how Cynder could use shadow to go through these gates that you couldn't open, and then she could open them. Cynder, if she has magma, her fire could corrode probably just about any metal. So she could, think you get where I'm going with this? She could melt the gates. There's a lot of things that could be done with that. And as for her upgrade wheel, basically hers would be one big wheel that matches Spyro's, and so they would still upgrade at the same time. She wouldn't be more or less strong than him unless you're powering her more or less. With the blue crystals, unless you're choosing her to take more of the blue. So there is a way to balance that. I just really think that it was lazy and it was unnecessary to the plot. It was not anything good. So the majority of what I wanted to talk about today is that I see Cynder strictly as a magma dragon. But a lot of you may be familiar with Weird Hyenas on DeviantArt. And she has a headcanon called Kuros, I think, about these black dragons that have metallic wing blades and thumbs and stuff. And I really liked that. And for a while I adopted it, not knowing, not thinking more about the fact that you have to credit people. And then I realized I didn't want that. I didn't want a whole species of Kuros. I didn't want to take her stuff. So instead I changed it and went on a different thing. And her kind is called a metacore, and it's not actually a species. It's a magical genetic thing that is about as rare as and behaves in the same way as albinism. Both parents have to have the gene to have that. So if Cynder actually wasn't a metacore, she wouldn't be black, but she would be dark gray, most likely because her dad is dark gray. I'm working out what her mom looked like. I've drawn a couple of pictures of him, her father. I named him Humos. Anyway, that about does it for me for today. I'm about out of time. But I just thought, Corey, you wanted to hear me talk about Cynder, so I'm actually starting to get to the nitty-gritty. And I hope you enjoy this. See you later! I'm cringy.